Alright, back to the LTX 1045 repower. I got the Briggs Stratton setting down on the frame now, and I started working on the fuel linkage. I did not have to cut the fuel line at all, although this has like a vacuum style fuel pump, and the Kohler did not. It's gravity fed. It already had a new inline filter on it, and there's my old one, so I'll save that because it wasn't bad. And basically I just connected the hose onto the new fuel line. Next up was the throttle linkage. I'm going to try to explain this the best way I can because I watched his video. First things first, he mentions a wire coming up and down right here. I don't have that on mine. I believe there's a wire that actually stops this throttle blade from going any farther when you're in choke. Okay, so basically what you have to do is when you unbox, there'll be a there's a black tab that goes in this hole right there, and it basically keeps your throttle from moving during shipping. Alright, so the next thing he says to do is take your white block and move it all the way to the front. Then, without your wire being in your clamp, this is your clamp, my clamp was in my manual bag. So I had to get my manual bag to get my clamp. But anyway, you push this all the way forward without the throttle linkage cable being hooked up. You put your throttle all the way to slow. At that point, you connect your white block right there. And you just kind of bend it and it goes in there. And of course it'd be all the way in that forward position. And mind you, this isn't tight yet. Then it says to move all the way to choke and hold here and behind the block, and basically what happens is it draws the block in this way. Now I don't know if you can see it, mine has a little bit of a gap right there, and when I'm basically what happens is I can't go to slow like I used to be able to, and I'm going to show you right now. When I come down, that's all the farther I can go to slow, when slow used to be way down here. So I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, so again, that's all the farther I can go. And now you'll see that the throttle block is all the way to the front. And then when I go to fast and then choke, and then you can see that little choke bar thing, it can't go any higher anyway. That's as high as it goes. See this little, let me see if I can grab a pointer here. That little metal thing right there, that's all the farther that will go anyway. So that's got to be the full choke. Alright, so that's the fuel linkage. Hey, Mustang Stampede, LTX 1045 repower. Had everything bolted up, ran into the first issue. I actually didn't have everything bolted up. Everything but the motor mounted to the frame of the mower was bolted up. Starter, fuel line, etc. And what I found out was these bolt holes here just weren't quite big enough for the 3/8 bolt. Now they are. So what I had to do was, these are basically 3/8 2-inch coarse thread with 2 washers and a locking nut, because on the motor you have the ears here, right there, and right there, and I'm gonna have to clean those out too, because the 3/8 bolt just almost won't fit in there, and I chose to actually use these grade 8 bolts instead of doing the tapping, because I don't have a tap here. And I mean, it's just over here, it was basically knocking the paint off of that edge. So I'll probably just run, I don't have my Dremel outside, but I have my little Black & Decker RTX variable speed with like a little grinding circle that just barely fits in there. So it's just going to take out just enough to allow that 3/8 inch bolt to fit in there. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I don't have to worry about tapping this motor Should I ever need to replace it, I mean, I already have the bolts. I would probably replace it with this motor because it's reasonably priced. So that's first issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish taking care of this. And just so you know, yeah, 3/8 grade 8 bolts, 2 inches long, with nylon locking nuts. Continuing on with the LTX 1045 repower with a Briggs Stratton. As you can see, I've already mounted the motor now. So all these bolts, I have 2 facing down due to clearance issues, and then 2 facing up. And I did use nylon locking nuts on all 4 of these bolts. They are 2-inch bolts that have a little bit of a shank, and then 3/8 of an inch thick in our coarse thread. Okay, so next thing is hooking up the starter, which the starter's hooked up. I need to grab a wrench to tighten this up. Okay, the next thing is this Briggs Stratton that's replacing the cooler comes with a pigtail that you need to just plug it in and play. So very cool. And this wire here is for the headlights. I don't ever leave my headlights hooked up because they seem to drain the battery even when the mower's off. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make this connection. I'm going to, because I actually had to take the whole motor off, I'm going to reconnect the throttle linkage. I'm going to fill this with oil, and I'm going to give it some gas, and I'm going to see if it fires up. Alright, everything's buttoned in on the Briggs Stratton. So I've backed it out a little bit. I've added oil, put some gas in the tank. Let's see what we got. Oh, this thing fires right up. I'm not used to something firing up that quick. Holy smokes. That Kohler would be like, So anyway, this came from Fox Lawn and Garden. So there's quite a few videos that I made of putting this back on, that I'll get them all together and put them online. And they're going to send me a new cover. They responded already. This was broke out of the box on both sides, so they're going to send me a new top cover. So if you need to repower your LTX 1045, this motor costs $575 and $55 to ship. It was a direct bolt in, basically. So I'll go ahead and put the deck on and get ready to try and fit the hood. But they are sending me a different muffler kit, so not sure. And of course the muffler's over there on that side, so I guess we'll see how the muffler kit thing goes. If the hood fits without it, I may cut the hood out some to basically fit around the muffler on the other side. I really don't care. The mower is almost 9 years old, so of course it don't look 9 years old because it's always in the garage unless it's being mowed with. So all right, hey, thanks for watching.